In this video, we will show you how to replace your vehicle's speed sensor on this Honda Accord. This will be located along the passenger side of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Now, along the passenger side of the engine compartment, we're going to remove the air filter housing and air inlet tube. To remove the air filter housing, carefully lift up on this plastic unit, lift it up and out of place. Quick inspection, set it aside. To remove the upper air filter housing, we'll be removing 4 8mm headed mounting bolts, holding it down. We'll pause here and make our way down towards the engine. You'll find there's several areas on this that has things attached. We'll lift up on this area to remove the wire from the housing. Making our way towards the engine, as I mentioned. We'll dislodge this cable from its mounting point. In this area, we'll be squeezing this clamp, slide it out of place. You can pull that right out of there. Up along the top area here, you should have an area where the hose slides into, and also an area where the wire slides into. Ours looks as though it's already dislodged. Go ahead and lift them up and out of there. Let's get this electrical connector. Quick inspection for corrosion. Just behind there, you have another rubber hose. We'll squeeze on that clamp and slide it out of the way as well. Just make sure that's soft and pliable. Now, behind that area, we can start loosening the clamp. You'll find that you'll be using a Phillips head to loosen this just enough that we can slide it out of place away from the throttle body assembly. Now we should be able to take hold of this and remove it from the vehicle. Grab that clamp in a minute. We'll set this aside. At this point, we can start disconnecting our speed sensor. For this, we want to dislodge the entire wiring harness here. Down underneath this area, there's a small squeeze tab. You want to try to press in on that, and you should be able to pull this off of the bracket. Once you've done so, we can continue on with disconnecting the 2 wiring harnesses from each other. Once again, we have another squeeze tab. We'll press in on that. Separate this. A quick inspection of both sides of that wiring harness for corrosion. This looks fine. Now we can follow the wiring harness down to where the speed sensor connects to the transmission. Now, you can gain access to the speed sensor from up along the top, but it's a little easier to see from down underneath the vehicle. There it is right there. Now, before we remove this, you want to make sure you clean around the area so no miscellaneous debris goes inside the transmission. With that area clean, we'll continue on to removing the 1 10mm headed bolt up along the top of the sensor. There's that bolt. A quick inspection and we'll set it aside. At this point, we'll take hold of that speed sensor and remove it from the transmission. There it is, friend. To prepare the transmission for installation of the sensor, we want to make sure that we clean and inspect the mounting port. Use a clean rag for this. Also, double check to make sure that the mating surface is clean. And now we can install our brand new speed sensor. Looking at the speed sensor, you want to make sure that you coat your sealing O-ring all the way around with a lubricant. After you've done that, we'll carefully take this, slide it into the transmission, and align our mounting bolt hole. Once we have that aligned, we'll continue on with our 10mm headed mounting bolt. For this, you just want to start it in and snug it up. The torque for this is 8.7 foot-pounds. If you have a hard time using a torque wrench on this, you just want to make sure it's snug, but be careful not to cause any damage by over-tightening this. There we are. Now it's time to reconnect our electrical connector. Just slide this into position. Listen for a click from that. We'll give each end a tug here to make sure they're properly secured. Now we're going to secure this to the bracket. You just want to take that and slide it into position. There we are. Let's reinstall our air intake system. Carefully take this and put it in position. We'll slide it into place along our throttle body there. Once you have it in the proper placement, you need to continue on with tightening that clamp. Roll that up into a position we can gain access. Use our Phillips head here. Give it a tug to make sure it's completely secured. Let's get our wiring in place here. That just goes right down inside this groove along the front. Now we can secure the hose. Slide that on. Squeeze the clamp, slide it into its original position. Make sure you can see hose on both sides of the clamp. Give it a little tug. We'll connect our electrical connector up here. Once again, listening for a click. Double check to make sure it's secure. Let's get this tube in place. Slide that in. Use our clamp. Let's get our cable into position as well. Make our way this way towards the air filter box. Let's get the air filter box in place. Let's get these mounting bolts in here. Now we'll install this. Slides right in along the front. Snap it down. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. At this point, you want to go ahead and start up the vehicle. Make sure you have no check engine light. Take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.